And today, I have to tell you, it was very interesting because I said, wow, what a great victory. But then somebody ran up to the stage all dressed up nicely when it was at 7. But now I just walked up and it's at 14. But she ran up when it was 7. And, you know, we have to do what's good for our party. And she was up and I said, wow, she's doing like a speech like she won. She didn't win. She lost. And, you know.
That is Donald John Trump, the winner of the New Hampshire primary for 2024. Hello, friends. Your old pal Justin Robert Young joining you here for this recap of the results here. I am back in Austin, Texas. I left New Hampshire before the votes took place because, quite frankly, I knew this was going to happen. I told you guys in the predictions that I thought Donald Trump was going to come in over 50%. I have my first miss of this season. Nikki Haley did not come in the mid-30s. Instead, she was in the mid-40s. She overperformed based on what I believed she was going to, what she was going to do. But right now, as I record this, the AP called this within 10 minutes. 43% of the votes are in. Donald Trump is leading by 9 points, but it is, according to the New York Times, projected to be a 12-point margin. So, what can we think from this? What can we glean from this? It's over for Nikki Haley. Not only is this race over, everything's over for Nikki Haley. She came out and she said, well, New Hampshire is the first in the nation. It's not the last in the nation. Well, here's what New Hampshire is for her. The best demographic state for her to gain momentum. And when she's out on the stump saying that all these 11 fellas dropped out, so now it's a one-on-one race between her and Trump, you gotta wonder whether or not it's because you have tremendous electoral prowess or you're just the person at the party that hasn't gotten the hint that it's time to leave. The lights are on. The bar staff is flipping the chairs and putting them on the tables. This is over. You know, we're going to keep a lot of eyes on South Carolina and the polls there, but right now the Real Clear Politics average has her down by 30. You very rarely see 30-point comebacks unless there's a lot of organic support behind a candidate. And here's the reality about what happened in New Hampshire. She got every break she wanted. If you look at what she was asking for in Iowa, it was Ron DeSantis to drop out and Chris Christie to drop out. Guess what? That happened. As I talked to you on Tuesday, both of those things happened, and she lost by over 10. There's not organic support for Nikki Haley. If it doesn't exist in New Hampshire, it's not going to exist in South Carolina. And here's the reality, and it's an ugly one for her campaign. Right now, everything is going to happen a lot faster and a lot more expensive than it has up until this point. She had a good fundraising day after Ron DeSantis dropped out. But this isn't just about Iowa. This isn't just about New Hampshire now. Let's even say that she gets that month to lead into South Carolina. And for whatever reason, she's got that down home cooking down there, and she beats Donald Trump. She beats Donald Trump. Well, guess what? She just earns the fact that she's got Michigan after that. And then you got Super Tuesday. And all of these states, the 10 that vote on Super Tuesday, are all winner take all. And she's polling like crap in all of them. Now, what New Hampshire shows is that there still is a gigantic contingent of never Trump folks. And obviously, there's a lot of undeclared voters in New Hampshire. But here's something that we're going to talk about this week with Michael Cohen. Michael Cohen's going to come on, and it's functionally time's up for never Trump. You're essentially going to have to decide whether or not you're sitting out this election or you're voting for Joe Biden if you're never Trump. Because there's nobody walking through that door. There's nobody that is going to, there's nobody that's going to save you if you are a never Trump voter. Nikki Haley's not going to save you. Ron DeSantis is not going to save you. Chris Christie's not going to save you. So, that's that. Let's take a real quick look before we wrap up this emergency episode with a look at the Democratic side. Right now, it's a little weird because Joe Biden is in a write-in campaign, and there's a bunch of write-ins that will eventually be credited to Joe Biden, but you have Joe Biden at 34.9 as I speak to you right now, Dean Phillips at 22. So Joe Biden will come in more effective than I thought during my predictions, and Dean Phillips will come in under that. Embarrassment averted for Joe Biden. It's not something that they needed. But yes, the sitting president winning a write-in ballot, not exactly the most impressive thing on the planet, but still, you'd rather have it happen than not happen. A win for Joe Biden. Good for him. Dean Phillips now, keep an eye on old Dean to see whether or not he has a label on him. Because indeed, he might have no labels. He's got the kind of speech that sounds very no-labelsy. Went out and campaigned in the line of a Trump rally the other day in New Hampshire. So we'll keep an eye on that. But up next is Nevada. I don't know how much Donald Trump is going to campaign there. I will be going out there to see what there is to see. I want to go to the Trump rally that happens there in early February, mostly just for Americana purposes. It's going to be a Trump rally in Las Vegas during Super Bowl week in the city where the Super Bowl is happening. Like, that's about as American as you get, right? At least to a certain strata of the country. So I'd like to be there. But all eyes will be on South Carolina from here on out. Every poll is going to fall like an anvil, especially if they do not show meaningful movement for Nikki Haley. And at this point, friends, I just can't see it happening. If I were betting, I would bet that Nikki Haley doesn't make it to South Carolina. But we'll have plenty of discussion about that in the coming weeks. This has been your emergency episode. My name is Justin Robert Young. I will see you guys later. A reminder that politics has 3 names.